How you doing? My name is Kenneth and I'm the Lone Dice Guy. I am on my solo Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure as Ming Zao, a monk of the Order of the Dragon. Join me today as we continue his journey to become stronger and one day defeat his master in single combat. Let's get to today's session. Okay, so last time Ming came back to the monastery after him and Jem split their ways. Jem kind of gave me advice of, hey, maybe it's time to find a weapon. Maybe it's time to look for something to help you on your quest. And Ming agreed. I agree. And so we went home, found Karvok actually outside of the village at the base of the mountain the morning after sleeping outside. It kind of mediated a disagreement between him and the village chief, and found out that Karvok has taken a job that is a bit over his head. And without many options, Karvok has agreed to let Ming help him. And so Karvok says meet him in Soldera in 1 week, and Ming said okay. Ming goes up to the monastery. He's looking for information on something called the Rite of Selection, a teaching that he's familiar with. Maybe it's been talked about in the teaching and liturgy of his order, but nowhere. It's not like something that he knows all about. He needs information. Now, before we get started with our scene, let's just go over our threads real quick to kind of remind ourselves where the story is going. So right now, of course, the thread that's over everything is Ming wants to complete his training, come back to the monastery, and challenge his master in single combat. Now, the rules of the order state you can't do that once you've already challenged him, which Ming did a couple months ago. You have to wait a whole another year before you can challenge him again. So there's kind of a mini limit, or at least a minimum limit on how long he has to wait. So complete training, get stronger. That's our first thread. Next thread, get a monk weapon. That is that's the thread we're chasing right now. Figure out what this Rite of Selection is. Get a weapon to help Ming on his journey. The quarterstaff was great. It's not going to cut it. Now, the next thing is, remember we saw the symbol of the Order of the Dragon in the burial mound. That was something that was very, very strange. And I think Ming, while he's home, is probably going to search up information on that as well. He's probably not going to want to leave until he gets some information, or at least a lead to figure out what was the reason for that. Why was that there? Of course, next thread is we're gonna help Karvok on his job to go back to the Dwarven capital. He said the roads in the mountains have become a bit more dangerous of late. I think Ming's kind of put two and two together, because when Karvok said that he didn't know what happened, but something has caused these creatures to come out of the mountain like ants out of an anthill that's on fire. Right? These creatures are coming out of the mountains that normally stay beneath them. I think Ming's kind of put two and two together that he might have had something to deal with this. That he might have been the cause. Remember, we rolled that there were unintended consequences from destroying the lodestone, so this might be it. And then obviously, Jem had agreed, said, hey, in 3 months' time, she'll be back in the village at the base of the mountain, and they'll meet up, her and Ming can meet up then. But she has stuff she has to do on her own first. So, with that said, I think it's time to start our scene. Our scene setup is this. Ming, after visiting the library, is given a scroll and told to open it in private. Now the question is, what is inside? So, as always, our chaos factor, I think, is going to be everything has been happening kind of chill, so we're going to keep it at 5 just to be nice to Ming. He needs a break. So, beginning of the scene, we roll a d10 against chaos to see if the scene is altered or interrupted in any way. If it's 6 or higher, we're good. If it's 5 or less, something's changing. Okay, it's a 9, so we've been doing really good with these scenes. Things have been going exactly as according to plan. Awesome. So, Ming, remember last time he went to kind of one of the meditation rooms on the second level above the courtyard where he's able to kind of be by himself. He meditates for a little bit, maybe says a couple of the liturgical prayers. Ming's they don't pray to the dragon. This is more of like mantras to focus their minds and bodies before doing something. And then he reaches up, grabs the scroll off the ground, pops the seal open, opens it up. What's inside? Let's find out. So, I'm going to roll from the table. We did this when we found out the meaning of the kind of the tenets of the Order of the Dragon. I think we can do it here. So we're going to roll from our from our table. So first thing we're going to get, 82 is going to be activity. And then 63, activity, power. Activity of power, a powerful activity. I think I have an idea, but I need more information, so we'll do it one more time. 09. What do we got here? Malice. Oh dear. 34. That's going to be expectations. Activity, power, malice, expectations. Alright, I think that when Ming opens the scroll, this is going to detail... Oh, I know exactly what this is. Alright, so Ming opens the scroll and he starts reading what's inside. And it is going to detail the story of when the dragon first came to this mountain. First came to this place and roosted on top. It's the dragon's retelling of him coming to this area. And I think that the dragon's going to kind of talk about how he subjugated the local monsters, right? His influence caused much of the local beasts to keel, to obey him. And I think also that whenever that happened, you had many of the creatures that lived under the mountains would come up like they're doing now, would come up, and the dragon's influence is what kept them down. So it's kind of a similar repeat of history right now, right? The creatures under the mountain are starting to, maybe because of the destruction of the lodestone, we're not sure yet, but are starting to creep back up onto the surface where they don't belong. And back then, the dragon was able to enforce the power, enforce his power, his activity. The activity of his power kept them at bay. And the malice that they had was, the expectation was that they'll stay in the mountain now. Like this was the way that things were to be. Now, the question though is, what does this have to do with a riot and getting a weapon? I think that in order to gain access to this weapon, whatever weapon a monk can bound himself to, I think they have to go to the roost where the dragon used to live. Yeah, I think that's it. I think they have to make that climb up to the top of the mountain, which is, I'm assuming, is probably going to be like a super holy place for the order. So it's going to be something where they are, that's like, you have to get special permission to even go there. Maybe that's why maybe it's so difficult, so dangerous. And so now the order makes this like you have to earn that, right? I'm assuming A, you got to be a full brother. You can't just be an acolyte, right? I'm assuming B, you have to have established that you are willing to take the risk. You have to consent to it, right? Nobody can force you. And it makes sense to me that you basically have to kind of sign away anything that you have at any claim on your life, right? Like you have to sign telling your telling your family if you have any, don't come killing the order if you get killed. Like basically you just have to, it's almost like a waiver. You have to sign a waiver that the order is not responsible for it if you die. I think this is a very dangerous, difficult task. But if successful, it does produce a weapon for the monk. Okay, this is cool. I like this. So I think that this is kind of like a repeat of history right now. The dragon's power kept the ooh. I'm gonna ask something in the fate chart. I'm not gonna tell you what. I'm just gonna ask it, and I'll reveal it later. But I think it's likely. I think it's very likely. 97. It's an exceptional no. I'll explain it later. I will explain that later. Wow. I don't know what to do with that. Okay, so anyway, moving on. Sorry. Wow. I know exactly what's going on. So this is cool. All right, so Ming rolls up the scroll, puts the seal back, ties the twine around it again. like he's heard this story probably multiple times. He knows what it's referencing. I mean, in order to even get into the order, maybe even you had to, or not. Sorry, not to get into it. Maybe to increase from like initiate to acolyte or some lower rank, you had to memorize this story and recite it. You know, something that they would do for children. They're entering the order. Can't have children doing, you can't have children going into combat. You know, this isn't an anime. We can't have kids fighting wars. But, definitely this is something he knows. So he's probably frustrated. He's like, what? This is it? This is all? But I think something special is going to happen here. I'm going to have him roll a d20 plus his wisdom. So Ming rolled a 14 on his roll. Oh, 14. Okay. He knows. He's putting 2 and 2 together. He finally understands, okay, this story means he has to do something. I mean, I think he's going to put 2 and 2 together. He's going to go, wow, I've got to go to the dragon. That's not fun. He's not, not to the dragon. He's going to have to go to the place where the dragon was, the roost at the top of the mountain. So I think, he knows that, but he also knows he's got to get special permission to go. But who does he ask permission from? You guessed it. The master. The master is the only one that can allow anyone to go up there. It's not where him and Tai Yang are, but it's still, you have to have permission from the master, of course. So Ming doesn't want to do this at all, but got to do it. So he, just rolls the scroll back up, ties the twine around it again. And then he's going to, stand up, put his cloak back on. It's late fall, so it's not quite winter yet. It's not snowing or anything, but it's definitely late fall. So up this high up in the mountain, definitely the air is chill. Maybe even you can even kind of see your breath a little bit. It's not frigid yet, but it's definitely chilly beyond that. So he's got his overcloak on. He's walking back to the library to turn the scroll back in. And so he does it. He gives the scroll back to the librarian. The librarian looks up at him, hunched over again. Did you find what you're looking for? Well, not quite. I know exactly what I have to do, but now I'm worried about actually doing it and getting permission from the master to do it. Many who have come your way before have wondered and had to struggle with that very same thing. They did? Yes. But never once has the master turned anyone away and said no. I doubt even you, with all of your recent troubles with him, would be the first. I hope you're right. I'm always right. He takes the scroll back. Now, there's plenty of other books to read and scrolls to read. Leave me be. Ming does a little bow. So he goes back and puts it up kind of in the forbidden section. I think at this point it's going to be mid-afternoon, later in the day. Most of the acolytes are undergoing their late, and the early initiates as well are undergoing their afternoon duties. Ming kind of reminisces for a little bit, thinking about, man, I used to have to clean that too, and I used to have to do that chore too. And he's kind of reminiscing just a little bit as he walks around the courtyard. Some of the full brothers are gathering to do their afternoon exercises. And, I think Ming's going to want to join in. I think he's going to just to do it. Right? He's a full brother now, so he grabs one of the spare quarterstaffs that's available to any of the monks to use. And he puts his cloak to the side of it, and he joins them. Right? He does the afternoon kind of katas and things like that you do to practice. And I think this is going to renew his spirits a little bit, but he's also going to think in his head, I didn't come back here to redo monastic life. I came here to get a weapon and move on. And so I'm going to ask the fate chart now, do Tai Yang and the master come back before dinner? I think it's somewhat likely. 99. Oh my goodness, absolutely not. In fact, they don't even come back that day. I think that the entire, even at dinner, Ming's like, where are they? What is going on? Why are they gone so long? I think he's going to ask some of the full brothers, right? Hey, where's Tai Yang? I haven't seen him. Where's the master? I haven't seen them. And they're all going to say, oh yeah, they're off training. I mean, I think Ming's going to start getting worried because he's got the scar and almost lost an eye from master's training. So he's worried that Tai Yang could be in danger maybe. But he's just going to leave it be. So the night goes through, he sleeps well. All of his, at this point, he's back to full health. All of his wounds from the previous battles are completely healed. He's feeling much better. He wakes up the next day. Okay, Fate Chart. Are they back now? I think it's very likely they are back now. Now I'm saying near sure thing. It's a near sure thing. They're back. Yeah, 38, yes. So, they're back now. So, Ming wakes up in the mornings. He gets up, does his morning, meditations, practices his kata with the other brothers in the morning again before breakfast. Breakfast comes, and then the master and Tai Yang walk into kind of the dining hall. Now, Ming obviously is super surprised to see them. So I'm actually curious, what is the state of Tai Yang? What is Tai Yang like? Is he like good? I have to say this. So higher on the D20, he's looking good. He's healthy, whatever. Lower, he's looking, the more beat up or ragged he's gonna look. So what do we got? 14. Okay, so he's looking okay. I think he's got maybe a couple, his gi and his stuff is scuffed a little bit. He's got a couple tears here and there, maybe a couple bruises, but nothing like, oh my gosh, this guy got his ass kicked. No. It just normal training injuries, normal training wear and tear. This is nothing to be worried about. So Master goes and sits down at his table with the other kind of senior brothers, and maybe even there's a level above that I haven't thought of yet. And then Tai looks, sees Ming, and his eyes get wide, and he rushes over and sits down in front of him. What are you doing back? I thought you were out there doing stuff. What are you doing back here? I came back for something, but what about you? Where have you been? I came back yesterday. I was looking for you. Well, the master invited me for some training, and it went really well. It really went well. I can't wait to show you what I can do. What did you do? He glances over to the master's table, and the master's looking at him intently, like. And so he looks back. Tai Yang looks back at Ming. I can't say. Maybe someday, but not right now. Ming's a little confused by this. I think Ming's gonna try and convince him to tell him anyway. The DC for this is gonna be like 23, 24. He's gonna have to roll exceptionally well. This is a persuasion. It's only +2. Yeah, no. Ming says, "Come on, you can tell me. Come on, we're best friends. We can tell anything." He even whispers, "Come on, what was it?" And Tai Yang is going to be stern. I'm like, "Ming, I can't tell you. You need to respect that." Fine, I do. Looks like he beat you up quite a bit. Nah, I was able to hold my ground against him. I don't see why you got your butt kicked by him. I don't see he's that tough. He's just an old man. And of course, this is going to result in some, friendly bickering as they eat their breakfast. So Ming's okay. Tai Yang's okay. Nothing super stressful, right? So after breakfast, Tai Yang is going to go maybe clean up and stuff. Ming thinks this is his moment. So he goes over to the master's table where him and some of the other senior members of the order are having their morning after meal tea. And he kind of goes and gets on his knees before the table. And of course, they're all, the master's like, his arms are crossed. The senior elders are kind of diverting their eyes away a bit. Nobody really wants to be a part of this conversation. The master takes his teacup and just the whole time his eyes are locked on Ming, puts it down, grabs a bit of his beard and wipes the tea off. Ming Zao. Did not expect to see you so soon. What brings you home? He's almost, there's a feeling of gloating in his voice. He is gloating that Ming has come back so soon. Ming's not even looking up. Master, I've come home for a very specific purpose. Not to challenge you again. I know I don't have that right yet. The master responds, I have come to inquire about the Rite of Selection. Now, I think at this moment, everyone kind of knows that the Ming and the Master just are having it. You know, they're having it out. And when Ming says that, definitely, there's just going to be a even the masters around, even like the elders around Master Dalong are going to be like, you know, looking at Ming like, are you crazy? You know, silence. So you seek strength, and you decide to come here, where it has always been offered to you. But you thought you could find it out there. I have found strength out there. But I have always known this to be my home. I need your help. Please. Allow me to undergo the rite of selection. Allow me to bond myself to a weapon. Please, Master. Okay. I wonder... I think that the Master... I need to roll for this. I think the Master is going to see kind of the seriousness in Ming's eyes. I'll do this. Is the Master swayed? I think it's somewhat... I would have said somewhat likely before. I think it's likely. I think that he sees the change in Ming. So likely, is he swayed? Yes or no? 0-4. That's an extreme yes. Wow. Okay. So Ming is, you know, he's sitting there. He's bowed to the ground. He's not looking up. He doesn't see the Master's face, whose face has normally got a grimace on it, right? He's not going to see the softening of his Master's face, right? He's not going to see his eyes kind of relax a bit. So if you're probably seeing the difference in audio at this point, it's because the program that I use to record my voice through a microphone didn't pick up this portion of it, and so I had to restart it. I'm sorry. And so the voice sounds a little bit off. We'll try to do better in my audio mixing in the future. Anyway, back to the video. Ming Zao, what has happened to you in the outside world? Tell me, quickly. Ming's gonna quickly relate the undead attack and how that's why he came back. And after getting completely, he admits it. It's like, after you completely defeated me whole-handedly. Of course, the Master's gonna chuckle a bit when he says that. He says he went out looking for the source of the undead. He wanted to find out where it came from. And he relays finding the tower and Gem and just everything that happened up until him and Gem's departure. He left out except helping Karvok. He didn't think it was important. You have grown stronger, it seems. Not strong enough to take me on, but you have grown stronger. Fine. I permit you to undertake the Rite of Selection, Ming Zao. But I will not help you. You will be on your own. Do you know what you must do? I do, Master. At this point, Ming sits up. He looks him in the eye. I know I have to go to the top of the mountain where the dragon once roosted. The one that started our order, and I must learn from him something he has left there and bind to a weapon that I find there. Aye, that is correct. Winter is on its way. If you do not hurry, you will not make it. Either there or back down. Leave immediately. Yes, Master. All right. I think that's cool. So yeah, things have gone according to plan so far, sort of. Ming has got the permission of his Master because of the rolls. If I had not, honestly, if I had not gotten an extreme yes, I probably I probably wouldn't have allowed that. So, by the way, I think his master sees just a little bit of a change, just a little bit of a change. And because of that, he's more than willing to let him do this. So Ming gets up excitedly and kind of rushes out of the room. Tai Yang's already outside, and he stops him and says, "What are you doing?" "I'm going to get a weapon. I'm undergoing the Rite of Selection." You can tell that Tai Yang is visibly frustrated. You leave. Go out and do some... He says, "I heard everything. I heard all of the stuff you said you did. You go out and have this grand adventure. You come back and then now you want to go..." "I'm not waiting for you, Ming. I'm going to get stronger too." "I already know you are. I already know you are, Tai Yang. You're already having secret training sessions with the master. I don't know, and you won't even tell me what he's teaching you. I have to keep up with you, remember?" At this point, there is a little bit of tension between them. I'm going to ask the Fey chart, is this tension enough to actually cause maybe a small rift? I don't think so. I think it's still a friendly rivalry, but still, is this going into more contentious rather than just friendly rivalry? I'm going to say unlikely. 0-6, which is a extreme yes. Okay, so I think Tai Yang, because Ming left the monastery first, that kind of pushed him up. That kind of pushed him forward to want to do better, and that led him to seek out training from the master and all this other stuff. And now that he sees Ming is taking yet another step forward that he could have taken when he was here, I think this is going to it's just going to piss him off. He's not going to be excited for his friend. He's not going to be like, "Yeah, woohoo, you go, man." He's mad. Look, you won't beat me, Ming. I'm going to get stronger than you ever could imagine. I don't know what happened to you. I don't know what changed you. You need to know your place. You understand? Know your place. I think Ming is taken back by this. Tai Yang, why are you saying this? We're friends. Let's grow together. You can get stronger in your way. I'll get stronger in my way. But Tai Yang, his emotions are getting the better of him. Yes, we're friends, Ming, but we're rivals first. We're in the same class. I graduated before you. You don't get to go ahead of me. Do you understand? I'm going to beat you. Good luck on the Rite of Selection. Don't die. And he goes off in a huff. That was strange. I think Ming's even like... It affects him mentally, but not enough to like make him not want to do it anymore. That's strange. I think he knows something is going on with Tai Yang. There's something else. I'm actually going to update our threads to say like something is affecting Tai Yang's mental state. I don't know what it is. Maybe we can look that up later. That can be something down the road, but something is not affecting him the way it should. So I'm actually going to end our scene there. So I think the chaos rank is going to go down to 4. Ming was pretty much in control of that, mostly in control of that situation. Also, I think that on top of all the other things, I think he said he's going to leave immediately. So we're just going to go straight into that in the next scene. So